Hi, I'm Becky Johnson with Sweetheart Quilt Design Company, and I'm back playing with layer cakes or charm packs. You can do it with either one again. And so this is what I'm going to show you how to do today. So I've got I bought 2 charm packs so that I would have duplicates, and then I bought some yardage so I could cut out 5-inch squares. So I've got them set out with a dark one on the left and a dark one on the right, upper right. We're going to sew this seam and then go back and sew the cross seam. Okay. Now when you fit these together, you need to look and see how they compare. My white squares I cut at 5 inches, so then I need to see these charm pack squares are just a little bit smaller than that. Okay. Okay, and then I like to, since I sewed these in order, I like to take them off in a set of 2, and that way I don't get confused about how they go together. So I'm going to line up, I'm going to press my seams toward the darker piece and line this up. If you want, you can put a pin in to hold the seam in place. And yes, sometimes I keep myself up at night dreaming up things like this. Although someone else could have dreamed it up on their own. Before me, too. All right. So now what we're going to do, we want to spin the seam. So I'm going to go ahead and press this toward the dark, and then I'm going to work my way around the block, pressing them all the same direction. Oops. All right. And I forgot to get a seam ripper. Pause. I can't believe I was sewing without a seam ripper handy. I call this my good luck charm. Usually I don't need it much as long as it's there. But if it's not there, I'm in trouble. Okay, so what we're gonna do to spin this, I cut that loop from when I'd chain pieced them together. And then usually you have to cut or pull loose a few threads. When somebody told me how to do this the first time, they said, oh no, it just falls open. That's a little more complicated than that. But if you see these fabrics right here, then they're going to make the corner and it'll show as a little square. The rest of it is down here, and the same thing over there. So each piece, this piece comes in and makes the corner. Okay, so then we're just going to press it real quickly and then go back and press it from the top. Now, when I do this one, we're going the opposite way. So we're pressing all these seams. We're working our way around the block the other way. This comes in very handy with nesting our seams later. Okay, so I'm gonna get rid of this loop, and then this blue fabric needs to go that way, and this piece of blue fabric needs to go the other way. Sometimes they're just a little stubborn. Whoops. Come on. Sometimes I have a little trouble doing this because of the pinked edges too. All right, so we're gonna just press that flat and go back like this. All right. Then we're gonna use our handy dandy spinning mat and line these up again, the same orientation. If you accidentally miscut it and do one the other way, you just have to do both cuts and then sew it together as a 9 patch. Okay, so we're going to cut 3 inches and spin it around and cut 3 inches. All right, and we'll get this one out of the way. All right, and then we're gonna swap out the centers. Every once in a while I forget to swap them, but I always remember before it's too late. It's kind of obvious. Okay, so then we're just gonna put these pieces on and then put these pieces on. So I'm matching up the center seam. Sometimes things don't come out perfectly when you're using charm packs or layer cakes. Well, especially with charm packs, because they might not be the squares you cut might not be the exact same size. All right, then we're going to pull on this first one. Match up that center seam again. All right. Now we're going to want to press one set in and the other set out. So out. Now we're ready for more fun. So we're gonna, again, cut these at 3 inches. Move that one out of the way. Then we're going to swap out the centers. Doesn't want to let go. There we go. And sew these together. And if you follow what I said for pressing, all the seams will nest. Makes it so much easier to match them up. All right, voila. Now what I usually do for pressing on this last step is if these were pressed out, then I'll press these in. If you're going to put it into a quilt with sashing, it doesn't really matter which way you press them. But if you think you might be sewing these blocks together by doing them in opposite directions, you can rotate them, which may or may not work because of the colors, or color value. Okay, and these were pressed in, so I'm pressing these out. Okay. And there we go. Have fun with it.